Friendly over here. Friendly, friendly, friendly. Okay. Or you can just be a dick about it.
If you've spent any amount of time around Arc Raiders lately, you've probably noticed one of the biggest debates across Reddit, forums, YouTube comments, Discord, pretty much anywhere Arc Raiders is discussed, is what role PvP combat should play in the game. So, let's get one thing out of the way right up front. PvP is part of Arc Raiders. Full stop. It's not just something that happened out of nowhere, it's literally designed to be a major part of the game. There's a reason that some weapons are designed specifically to be lethal against humans and ineffective against Arcs. There's a reason that the knockout animation was programmed into the game in the first place. So I don't think many people are actually arguing against that fact. The real argument is around the amount of PvP, and even what kinds of PvP, and really, whether the current game experience feels intentional or just frustrating. A lot of the conversation online oversimplifies this as a simple binary. Either you want PvP everywhere all the time, or you want a pure PvE experience. But like most overly polarized online arguments, that's not really the case. I think that most players, like me, fall somewhere in the middle. I want tension and I want risk, and I want meaningful encounters with other players, both friendly and otherwise.
Hey, I'm sorry about that, man.
That's okay, you got some crazy reflexes, brother. Holy.
But what I think pretty much no one wants is cheap, repetitive, low-effort PvP that feels more like an exploit than an actual feature of the game. And I think that distinction actually does matter. Competing, even lethally, with other raiders for possession of rare loot in a world where resources are scarce and survival is paramount, yeah, that makes sense. And it adds to the tension and the atmosphere of the game world overall. But getting extraction camped for the 5th time tonight when I'm just trying to complete a simple quest or get one more item I need for an upgrade, that's a lot harder to justify as intended design. While we're on the subject, there's another angle to this debate that I think doesn't get talked about enough: the setting. Let's look at this from a game lore perspective. Arc Raiders takes place in a world where humanity has been absolutely devastated by an overwhelming AI force, the Arcs. Civilization is shattered and forced underground, resources are scarce, survival is hard enough already. So from a narrative perspective, you would expect humans to feel like they're all on the same side. Maybe not best friends, and certainly not saints, but at least reluctant allies against a common enemy that is objectively worse than any other scavenger you'll meet. Working together would seem to be paramount instead of fighting amongst ourselves in this landscape. Now, that being said, it doesn't mean PvP makes no sense. Desperation makes people do terrible things. Infighting among humans is, unfortunately, in our nature. But constant, hyper-aggressive, zero-trust behavior from every other human you encounter, that starts to clash with the tone of the game world. And when the biggest threat feels like other players instead of the Arcs, something feels off. And I think a lot of players are reacting to that disconnect. So, what can be done about it? Evidently, Embark has noticed the problem and is taking a stab at it. Just last week, Embark confirmed that they're implementing an aggression-based matchmaking system. In simple terms, the game will look at how you play and plop you down in lobbies with similar styled players. So if you play more cautiously and PvE focused, you'll more often see players who do the same. But if you play more aggressively, you'll be matched with players who are also looking for that kind of fight. So this does seem to at least somewhat quell the masses by putting players in an environment that suits the majority of their playstyle. And the good thing about this approach is that instead of forcing one quote-unquote correct way to play, Embark is acknowledging that different players want different experiences. And this is a way to tailor those experiences to the players. So yeah, it's a start. Will it work perfectly? Probably not. Will it be enough on its own? Maybe, maybe not. But it is a thoughtful step in a debate that doesn't actually have a clean, perfect answer anyway. At the end of the day, this really isn't an argument of PvP or PvE. How do you keep a player community happy when they want different things out of the game environment? Arc Raiders is trying to be dangerous and tense without being unfair and exhausting. It's a hard balance to strike, and a tall order for a game company. There's a lot to unpack here, and I genuinely don't think there's a single right answer. So, what do you think? Where do you land on PvP and Arc Raiders? Post it down in the comments, and leave a like and subscribe if you could. In any case, thanks for watching. See you next time.